What's up YouTube, this is Biased in the X79 guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest deck profile video for February 2019. And as you can see, staring you right in the face, yeah, we're going to be doing Salamangreat. Now, Salamangreat is actually one of the best competitive decks to actually come out of a structure deck in a while. Okay? You can pretty much buy 3 copies of the Soul Burner structure deck. Or if you were lucky enough to win my giveaway, tips off to JD Bruno, you would actually have a good base to build this deck. Alright? It is very competitive. In the last ARG, it actually took about 10 out of the top 16 slots in that tournament, which is completely and totally epic. Alright? And this deck has a myriad different combo trees which can help you achieve some pretty good damn boards. I mean, you might turn around and draw into a hand that you might think is bad, but when you start playing through the cards, you realize, hey, this deck can put up a board even with a crap hand. Alright? Been test playing this deck for a while now, guys, and I can tell you this right now, I've came up with some very interesting tech choices that are going to help this deck go from Salamangreat to Salaman Awesome. So without further ado, we're going to get right into this. And of course, we're going to talk about one of the stars from the Soul Burner structure deck, and that's going to be 3 copies of Salamangreat Gazelle. Okay, now, if a Salamangreat monster you control leaves the field and is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon out Gazelle right from your hand, which is awesome. But the real kicker is, whenever Salamangreat Gazelle is summoned, you get to turn around and search your deck for a Salamangreat card, whether it be Monster, Spell, and Trap, and send that card to the graveyard. So effectively, it's kind of like a Foolish Burial and Foolish Burial goods for the entire Salamangreat archetype. It puts in a lot of work. It is a level 3, so it helps you go into those rank 3 plays, and it just makes the deck sing. Alright. Next card is 3 copies of Salamangreat Foxy. Okay. Now, Foxy has a cool normal summon effect. Whenever you normal summon it, you can activate the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose one of the Salamangreat cards that you have excavated from those 3, add it to your hand, and then basically shuffle the rest into your deck. It's basically kind of like a pot duality for the Salamangreat archetype, which is awesome. But the real cool effect is when it's in the graveyard and your opponent controls a face-up spell or trap card, you can target that face-up spell and trap card, discard a Salamangreat card from your hand to your graveyard, and special summon this. Alright? And when you do, you get to actually bounce that card off the field into your opponent's hand. Targeted but non-destructive spell and trap removal is pretty damn awesome, and is one of the great things about this deck. It gives you so many different outs to play against a lot of different decks. Okay? I found this card effect very useful, and here's the kicker. According to various rulings, this card can activate its effects even while things like Skill Drain or the Monarch Storm 4th are face up on the field. So getting those particular floodgates off the field is what this card does. So don't forget that if you ever get matched up against True Dracos, excuse me. Alright, next is another star that came out in the Soul Burner structure deck, and that's Salamangreat Spinny. Okay, now Salamangreat Spinny is a bit of a honest for the Salamangreat archetype. Basically, if one of your Salamangreats are battling, you can discard it from your hand to your graveyard, power that monster up that's battling by 500 points. But the real thing about it is that if this card is in the graveyard and you control another Salamangreat monster, you get to special summon it out from the graveyard onto the field. And again, level 3 equals to rank 3 plays, and it just helps this deck go off. So that's the reason why we're running 3 copies of all the level 3s. Alright, now for some other tech choices for the Salamangreats, we got Jaguar, level 4 Salamangreat monster. Okay, can inflict piercing damage when it battles, which is not bad, but the real cool thing about it is that while this card's in your graveyard, you can actually target another Salamangreat monster that's in your deck, or in your graveyard, shuffle it back into your deck, and then, or actually add it back into your hand. and then he special summon this card to the field to his own Link Monster points to. So which is actually pretty cool. Can help set off a lot of plays, and it can even turn around and get you some Link Monsters effect, specifically something like Wolves. Alright, moving forward. We got Salamangreat Falco. Falco is a great one-of in the deck. Basically, if it's ever sent from the field to the graveyard, you get a Salamangreat spell or trap card from your graveyard back into your hand. Allows you to recur those resources. And then, this is the card that sends a Salamangreat monster from your graveyard back to your deck to special summon itself. Okay. Two very good monsters that can help recur resources back from your graveyard. Now for some tech choices. This is one of the ones I love having in this deck, and that's basically 3 copies of Widget. Now, a lot of players like to play Lady Debug because it's a Stratos and it gets to search whenever it's summoned, which is great. But the thing about it is, for me, I like Widget a little bit better, primarily because not only is it a Cyberse monster, but it's also that level 3 monster, which just pairs so well with the level 3 Salamangreats. Add in the fact that whenever it's summoned, you get to special summon another Cyberse monster from your hand right to the field. And if you guys see my other Cyberse deck profile, you know that the more monsters on the field means more plays. Alright? And with this deck, it's no exception. Alright? That's the reason why I prefer Widget over Lady Debug. I find Widget going into those rank 3 plays is just amazing, and it helps the deck out so much. Alright. And of course we get on hand traps. 3 copies of Ash Blossom, Joyous Spring, because hey, it's a common now. Why not? Alright. Even though it's once per turn, it is a fire tribute monster, and it can be recycled through Sunlight Waltz effect, which means you effectively can have multiple uses of Ash Blossom, which will be annoying to your opponent. And the last one, of course, is going to be 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is just awesome, negates monsters' effects, helps you so much. So that's the monster lineup right there. We're going to go right into the spells. Alright, and speaking of hand traps, we got to respect hand traps, so that's the reason why we run 3 copies of Call by the Grave. Negate those hand traps, negate any other monster effects that may be problematic. I mean, this card is so damn useful. I can't say enough about it. This helped me out in matchups against Thunder Dragons. Just shutting off those monster effects can hurt that deck and just slow them down so much. Alright. Another tech choice here that I have in the deck are 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. And the primary reason why I'm running 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods in is because I wanted to run and try to alleviate the pressure on Gazelle by a lot. So instead of worrying about dumping Salamangreat spells or traps from your deck to your graveyard using Gazelle's effect, you can actually use this card. Effectively, you can bait out an Ash Blossom with that, and then use Gazelle's to go off as well, which is not bad. If you don't get interrupted, you can get set up even more plays and go off even more. Very handy, necessary in my opinion. Alright, Fusion of Fire. Yeah, this is always counts as a Salamangreat card, which is just awesome. Allows you to fusion summon with materials on your field, in your hand, and even on your opponent's field. So it's kind of like Super Poly, just without that whole no chaining effect. Very useful, and I can tell you right now, it gets you into that big boss monster. This is a combo deck, so you gotta run the King of Combo cards, Ascenders, Monster Reborn. 3 copies of Salamangreat Circle. Now this is an awesome quick play version of Rhoda because you can search out any Salamangreat monster you need from your deck to your hand, even on your opponent's turn. And it also can protect any Salamangreat Link monster that was blink summoned by using another monster of the same name, which is commonly referred to as the Reincarnate Summon. Okay. 1 copy of Salamangreat Sanctuary. This is the field spell. Very, very, very useful to help you reincarnate something, because then you can just use 1 Link monster you control and just link it into the same monster again. Alright? Has another effect which a lot of players just kind of forget about, but you can actually bottom out Salamangreat Link monsters attack to add it to your life points. Which can be very useful if time gets called or if you're about to go into time. Alright, help with back row, 2 copies of Twin Twisters. I know things like Foxy can help, but extra pressure is extra pressure, and the discard clause just helps with the monster effects. Alright, and last but not least, one copy of Will the Salamangreat. I mean, it just turns around and acts like a R-type version of Monster Reborn, giving you back a Salamangreat monster from your graveyard to the field, and if you control a reincarnated Salamangreat Link monster, oh boy, you can target that monster and then special summon Salamangreat monsters up to the Link rating of the Link monster you targeted to the field in defense position, which just allows you to go even more, which is completely and totally awesome. Alright? And that's it for the spells. I do run traps. 3 copies of Goals and Mash. This deck is primarily a fire attribute deck. Helps the deck out a lot by locking down that attribute, and just allows Salamangreat to help control the pace of the duel. Okay. 1 copy of Salamangreat Rage. Alright. Has 2 effects basically. One where you discard a card and you can pop a card on the field, and the other one is that if you control a reincarnated Link monster, you can basically pop up the monsters equal to that reincarnated Link monster's Link rating. So, using things like Sunlight Wolf or Heat Leo will give you 2 or 3 pops, which is just awesome. Great disruption. Alright, but the real winner right here is 2 copies of Salamangreat Roar. Alright, this is the counter trap for the deck. Basically, if you control a Salamangreat Link monster, you can negate spell, trap, or monster effect that's activated and destroy that card. Good. But the really cool part about Roar is that if it's in the graveyard and you reincarnate Link summon a Link monster, you get to take this card out of your graveyard and set it right to the field. Alright, yeah, you have to banish it when it leaves the field, but you know what? This is basically 4 negates right there. Alright. So we're going to head into the links. We're going to go up the tree right here, combo tree right there, and we're going to turn around and start off with 3 copies of Salamangreat Bale Links. Alright, Bale Links is a Link 1. All it needs is 1 level 4 or lower Cyrus monster, which means it works with your kid. Awesome. Whenever it's Link Summon, you get to search your deck for a Salamangreat Sanctuary to add to your hand. Also cool. Typically, the combo pairing between Balinks and something like a Gazelle is that Gazelle is mandatory and this is optional, so this will Gazelle will be Chainlink 1, this will be Chainlink 2. You resolve Balinks first, so if your opponent's going to try to ash your Gazelle, they can't, it blocks. It chain blocks the Gazelle's play. Alright. Next, after you get Balinks on the field, usually we'll have 2 level 3s on the field as well, so you go into your Salamangreat Mirage Dahlia. This is basically the MX Invoker for the Salamangreat R-type. Detach a material, special summon a Salamangreat monster that you need from your deck right to the field. Adds the consistency and speed, and if this card is ever used for Link material, it has a compulsory evacuation device effect that can allow you to target a monster and just get it off the field. So huge, and it's just one of the great things about this deck. It helps you break through boards. Alright, and usually you're going to be linking into Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Now, this is a pretty cool card. Basically, if ever a Salamangreat monster is special summoned to, or actually, whenever a monster is special summoned to the zones it points to, you get to turn around and target a fire tribute monster to add back to your hand, which is just huge. A lot of the times you're going to be turning around, getting into this guy, and then using something like maybe Jack Jaguar's effect to special summon to the zone to trigger it to get something back to add it to your hand. So huge, so important, but the real awesome thing is that if it's ever reincarnated Link Summon, you can actually target a Salamangreat spell or trap card to add in your graveyard to add to your hand. So dumping stuff with Foolish Burial Goods or Salamangreat Gazelle definitely helps, because this guy's going to help get you back. Alright? The other thing about it is that you're going to want to turn around and watch how you manage this guy, because he is kind of very important to the tree, and recycling this guy back into your extra deck is going to be very key to the overall strategy. Alright? And of course, the big guy, one of the big guys for the Salamangreat is Salamangreat Heat Leo. Alright, whenever this thing is Link Summon, you can target a spell and trap on your opponent's field, just spin it back to your opponent's deck. That's awesome. Now here's the one cool thing. If you reincarnate summon this card, you can actually target a monster, any monster in your graveyard, and target one of your opponent's monsters on the field. And basically, the monster on your opponent's field will then turn around, attack will then turn around and change into the monster you targeted in the graveyard. All right. So some good examples will definitely be, the target will definitely be Balix because it has 500 attack, or if you happen to have hand traps in the graveyard, Ash Blossom or Effect Veiler because they both have 0 attack. So bottoming out your opponent's attack like that just hurts. Foxy and Spinny also have 1,000, so those are also viable targets if you don't have anything else in your graveyard. It's great, and the primary reason why you want to change a monster's attack is because we're playing Salamangreat Violet Chimera. Alright? Now, Violet Chimera basically gains the attack, or actually attack equal to half the monsters you used for its fusion summon, which is just completely and totally awesome. Alright? Whenever it attacks a monster, or battles a monster with an attack that's been altered, this thing does double damage. So a lot of times, you're going to be getting this guy onto the field, and it's going to have attack probably about 4,500 or more. Dealing double damage onto a monster whose attack's been bottomed out to 0, yeah, you're going to be going over 9,000 easily, one-shotting your opponent. Alright, now if you ever fusion summon this card with another copy of itself, which we don't have in the main, but you can easily cite it, when you battle a monster, you can actually bottom out that monster's attack through this effect, and then the battle damage effect will then kick in, which is awesome. Okay. With that being said, some other cards to help you get through the duel. We have Nightmare Phoenix because Mirage Dalio locks you into using fire-driven monster effects. So boom, Nightmare Phoenix just helps pop back rows. I mean, leaving it on the field, Co-Link can help protect your monsters from being destroyed by battle. I have both Honeybot and Flame Administrator. Honeybot basically protects any monsters that it points to from being targeted by card effects, and those monsters that Honeybot points to can also not be destroyed by battle. And then, of course, you have Flame Administrator, which has an also continuous effect, which just powers up all weak monsters you control by 800 attack. Yeah. Heat Leo going up to 3,100 is just completely and totally insane. Alright, and last but not least, something for the Salamangreat mirror matches. Hida, the Flame Charmer Ablaze. Basically, this thing is a monster reborn that can go into your opponent's graveyard and special summon one fire-driven monster to your zone. Alright, and of course, you can recur fire-driven monsters back from your own graveyard when this thing is popped. So, always a good card here. Alright, guys, that is it for my Salamangreat deck profile for February 2019. This deck is completely awesome. It has so many sick plays, and it's been optimized to win. Guys, if you don't believe me, try it out for yourself. And of course, if you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to hit subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss a single upload. And guys, until next time, peace.